What's going on, everyone? Dom from the Game Looters here, and today, my friends, we're talking all about the Nintendo Switch 2. I have now spent the last 48 hours with the Nintendo Switch 2, and I want to talk about everything from what are my impressions of the console itself? Is it next gen? I want to talk about the setup. I want to talk about my first impressions with it. I want to talk about the seamlessness of how things work, or the unseamlessness of how things work, things maybe I don't like, things that I love about it. And then I also want to talk about my impressions of some of the games. You guys see here, I have a lot of different games that I have installed here that I've had the chance of playing, some old, some new. I also have the chance to talk about some of the games that are right here. So we have a few different games: Mario Kart World, Cyberpunk, Rune Factory. So different games that we have gotten here, and we're going to talk all about how I view the Nintendo Switch 2 games, their boxing that they come in, and I made the purchase of one, as you guys see here, or maybe it was two, because there's Bravely Default. I had the pleasure of getting two of the game key cards, which are Street Fighter 6, and I got Bravely Default Flying Fairy because it's the only way to purchase the game. So we'll talk all about that here in this video. But first off, let's talk about the system itself with the Nintendo Switch 2. So the Nintendo Switch 2, for about 2 years, all we talked about was I think everybody across the internet, and probably you as well, we're all worried, is Nintendo going to change things up too much? Are we going to have a Wii U scenario? Are we going to have some kind of scenario where they go too crazy with the Nintendo-fying of the next console? Are we going to have 2 screens, 3 screens? What's going to be the gimmick? And I think for the last couple of years, everybody has been pretty on board and on the same page of saying, hey, all we want is a better Nintendo Switch. And that's exactly what they delivered with the Nintendo Switch 2. First off, it's extremely comfortable. So it's an extremely comfortable system to use, although I do recommend getting some kind of grip or something to have alongside of it, because it is a heavier console, but it's very easy and very comfortable to use. The screen is a lot bigger, it's really vibrant, and the HDR really pops off of the screen. That also segues into the different refresh rates and the VRR that's built into handheld mode. It really does help quite a bit, especially in certain games. But overall, the console is extremely comfortable to use. Everything is just a little bit better. The Joy-Cons are a bit better. The screen is a bit better. The layout is a bit better. The ability to charge on the top or the bottom is a bit better. So everything about the console is a bit better than its last iteration, which is just greatly appreciated. Now, when starting up the Nintendo Switch 2, this is where like the fire really starts. So you have the ability to just simply sign in on your account or start a new account, or you can do a system transfer. I did a system transfer for myself as well as my wife and my kids, and we all did the system transfer. And I absolutely love that Nintendo nailed the system transfer. It's super easy to use. It takes you through all the different pages, all the different setup pages, and it basically has you have your old Nintendo Switch right there. It doesn't delete anything off of your old Nintendo Switch, which is the best, but it does transfer everything over to your new Nintendo Switch, including if you have multiple profiles. So like me, I have my main profile, I have my profile for my YouTube channel, I have my profile for the different regions that I have, like Japan or Ireland or Germany, depending on where I'm trying to get a game, if I'm trying to get it early, blah, 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 blah. So it transferred everything over seamlessly. It also gives you the option to pull over all your manual saves. So certain games don't save to the cloud. Pokémon Scarlet, Pokémon Violet, Pokémon Sword, Animal Crossing, and then I think there's a couple others that don't save to the cloud. So it pulls those over easily for you, and it transfers them over to your system, so you don't have to worry about it. Then the most goated thing ever is it also detects like, hey, you might have some older pictures and videos on your old memory card. So what you can do is it says, okay, now go ahead and put in your old memory card. It moves all those videos and pictures and everything on your memory card over to the system memory. Then it tells you like, okay, put in your new memory card, and it pulls over everything from your old memory card from the system memory all the way to your new one. And then it puts you into the main menu and you're off to the races. So it's basically like you're starting over from exactly where you left off, which I absolutely love. Then it brings over and starts downloading all your old games and titles and stuff that you have as well. So the setup was just seamless. It was flawless. And, you know, one of the sentiments that myself, as well as my daughter specifically shared, was like, everything on the system is familiar, but it has new sounds and new chimes, and it feels new, and it feels like a next-gen version. It feels like the next generation, the next iteration of the Nintendo Switch 2, because you go into the eShop and it's snappy and has like these little cool little chimes. The music that was playing during the setup is like, it's so unique to it. You hit a specific button, like you hit like settings, or you hit virtual cards, or game sharing, or game chat. And it's just like, oh man, what are these new sounds and feelings and stuff? So it just nails all of that. Then, after you're done with getting all your brand new Switch 2, you know, set up, you got the games that you want. That's where it really, really, really shines. So, before I talk about the games, let me say this other stuff too. So it also has a voice chat feature, which is actually really, really good. I tested it out during my initial setup video that I put out, but the voice chat's actually really good. The built-in microphone for the Nintendo Switch 2 is much better than like the DualSense from the PS5. It does a better job of picking up and deleting kind of the background noises off of your Nintendo Switch 2, which is really, really cool. So game chat is a function that you can just naturally do without needing to do a whole lot of, you know, what microphone or what headphones. So I think that's really cool. You know, obviously all the wireless and LAN features are all here as well too. Game sharing is here for you to be able to share with those on your family plan or locally, which I think is really cool. The news feels new, eShop feels snappy. So everything here is great. Also in the system settings, I was so happy that a lot of the settings that I used before, parental controls, you know, was really, really easy to set up for my kids. And then also the accessibility features here, like hitting your home button twice to zoom in, which is an extremely useful feature, especially in Pokemon, was all here as well too. So the system definitely felt next gen. So now let's talk and let's jump into the game. So obviously the big game to talk about is Mario Kart World. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a different video, but like Mario Kart World really was the best choice for them to you know, to basically not to have as a pack-in. It would have been nice for it to be a pack-in, but it was definitely a fantastic choice for them to choose to have this be kind of like the pillar of the launch of the Nintendo Switch. Like, my kids love it. I love it. It has the addictive loop. It has free roam, which is really cool for the kids. Like, if you go into like a wireless lobby, you can basically free roam, and you can do tricks, and you can mess with each other, and you can do all those things, which is really cool, especially for my kids. Like I said, you can have up to 24 players in a lobby, which I think is really, really dope. So if you want to get yourself together with a lot of your friends, you can basically have a chaotic time inside of there as you wait. If you're gonna do like the balloon race, if you're gonna do versus, if you're gonna do knockout, we did a lot of knockout rounds because I find it fun when especially when the kids don't finish in a certain place, they get knocked out, which I thought was really cool. But you definitely have that free roam ability, and I think it's gonna be the best for kids. Now, myself, I actually got a little bored with the free roam stuff. There's not a whole lot to do and see because you don't really get any rewards or anything from doing free roam. It literally is just free roaming the different stages of Mario Kart World, which I think is cool, but it does wear off. It wears off pretty quickly. Now, where the bread and butter, of course, is just simply the racing. We beat the game. We got the Rainbow Roads, we got the mirror, whatever you call it. Like you unlocked the mirrored version of everything, which I thought was really cool. We were able to do that on 4 players split screen, which I thought was really cool. What I thought wasn't cool is when you go local, it basically treats, although I did praise it a few minutes ago, when you go local, instead of treating it like you're all playing on the same game, and you can unlock, basically, like you can go through to Grand Prix and you can unlock all the different trophies and you can unlock things together. As opposed to that, you still get your coins and you still get your unlockables by, you know, putting time into the game. But it doesn't feel as special because when you go over LAN, like when you go over like local, you're basically just picking random modes as opposed to playing part of the game. So when we were playing 4-player split screen, it felt like we were all kind of going towards the goal of like beating the game together, unlocking Rainbow Road together, unlocking the mirrored version, you know, the mirrored version of the races together. It felt really special and really fun. But then when we went local, because we had to wait like 24 hours for my kids to get their Switches, because theirs came from GameStop and Best Buy, as opposed to our first 2 Switches came from Walmart. There was like a wait. They didn't come till the next morning. So the first day we all played 4-player split screen, but then the next day we all played on local. And it just didn't feel that special. Now, there are some things that, like I said, like the free roam, there's stuff for the kids, there's stuff for people to have fun together, you know, to play and mess with each other and stuff, but it just didn't feel as special. But regardless, I still think Mario Kart World, 9 out of 10 for sure. Lots of modes, lots of different ways to earn characters, different versions of outfits for characters, different vehicles, different, you know, bikes and carts and things like that. Definitely, you know, the gameplay loop is there, and it's definitely fun to drop in, play an hour or two, you know, a day by yourself, with a friend, with a spouse, with your kids, whatever. I think it's really, really cool. For the rest of the games, I want to talk about, like, I jumped into a couple of older titles. So I jumped into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, of course, and it was just incredible. Like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is just, it's 60 frames per second. It feels like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a brand new game. If you had any qualms about the game and it was all simply due to performance and graphics, then it has all been solved. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was already a masterpiece to me, and it's even more so now on the Nintendo Switch. I won't spend much time talking about it, but I want to talk about just some of the older titles. Other titles that have been updated, we tried out Splatoon 3. That was updated to it was I think it was already 60 frames per second, but it just continued to work flawlessly. My kids played Fortnite, which there's a brand new version of Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch 2. It looked better, it ran better, it felt better. They gave it like a 10 out of 10. They were like, yes, this is it. They also played Fall Guys. Before, sometimes Fall Guys would get a little bit choppy, and they just weren't feeling it here. Again, I watched it off screen. I wasn't actually playing it, but it looked like it was running a lot better. I'm not sure if they actually did anything to it, but the theme seems to be that a lot of games before that I've seen, especially posted on the internet too, is like games like Age of Calamity, games like Persona 5 Strikers, games like Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. A lot of these Muso games that kind of had that worked and stuttered and dropped to like 20 frames, 15 frames. It seems like now all the games before that had issues are just back at a stable frame rate where they were supposed to be. If it's an unlocked frame rate, they're running at 60 now. If it was just a 30 frame rate cap, they're running at 30 frames, which I think is really cool. I also jumped into Cyberpunk 2077. Wow. Cyberpunk continues to be what I call next generation. I still to this day have not seen a better next gen game than Cyberpunk 2077. And to see it running on the Nintendo Switch 2 is absolutely incredible. I started playing through the Liberty City, through the Phantom Liberty DLC, and I created a brand new character, which I didn't have to. You know, I was able to log in through my account and through my CD Projekt Red account, and I was able to bring over my cloud saves that I had from Steam and I had from PlayStation 5, and I was able to bring over my different saves that I had there. But I wanted to start something brand new, so I started a brand new character for Phantom Liberty, and it looks incredible. I went through Dogtown and I went through the Arasaka area, and it just looked absolutely incredible. Like it was running, and I think that's the biggest thing, is like it was nighttime, it was Phantom Liberty, whatever, it was Liberty City, it was the Arasaka area, it was a dog area, it was raining, I was driving, and it looked incredible and it felt incredible. I was playing on the TV, so I didn't play on handheld, but I assume that's going to be parity there. I'm just so surprised that Cyberpunk 2077 is running like it should. It looks incredible. I can't wait to spend more time in Cyberpunk 2077. Other games too is I spent most of my night downloading Street Fighter 6. Again, I got the game key card. I haven't had a chance to dive into that one yet. Bravely Default was fine. It ran fine. It's an upgraded 3DS game. But then I want to get to the last one here, which is Guardians of Ozma Rune Factory. Let me just say this. This one felt like the most... This felt like my favorite brand new Switch 2 launch day title. I have about 15 hours clocked in. I think it's like 14 hours now clocked into Guardians of Ozma. I have a different video talking and praising it more, but let me just say that if you are a JRPG fan, Guardians of Ozma is the game that you want to play. This one it's addictive. It has an amazing story. It looks fantastic. It runs incredible. It's just a JRPG delight. So definitely play it. I'll have a different video coming soon, probably the next couple of days, about Guardians of Ozma. But to put a button on it, to put a cap on it, is the Nintendo Switch 2 is a next generation. So the Nintendo Switch 2 is a next generation Nintendo console. It's got the games, it's got the hardware, it's got the feel. It has the backwards compatibility. I bought the new Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. You can use your old Pro controllers, you can use your old Joy-Cons, you can use your old chargers, except for on the dock. But you can use all your stuff that you had, all the library of accessories that you had for the Nintendo Switch 1. They're forward compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. Everything worked just like I imagined it would. My kids are all set up. Like, it is just an incredible piece of hardware. Definitely well worth the money. I still feel in my heart of heart this thing should have been $399. I think that would have been the sweet spot. That would be the sweet spot for it. I still think it's going to sell because it is just an incredible piece of hardware. It is a better Switch, and the Switch to me was one of the best, if not the best, consoles of all time. So to say that you're going to get a better version of the best console of all time, I think it's definitely worth the money. But in my heart, I still think that $399 would have been the spot for everybody of all different price ranges, because some folks are going to be priced out of it. But regardless, yeah, I have nothing but praise. I think this is a 10 out of 10 system console launch. I think it's a 10 out of 10 system. The only thing that could make this better would be an OLED screen, just because I feel like the battery life on this screen or on this only lasts about 3 hours or so, and you do have to kind of keep being next to the charger. My wife was shiny hunting last night or yesterday, and she had to probably put the Switch 2 on the charger probably 3 different occasions because it kept getting to, you know, 10%. So that's the only knock on it. Is I really wish it did launch with an OLED. That way it's more energy efficient. Otherwise though, I think, again, like I said, I think this is one of the best console launches of all time. I think the Nintendo Switch 1 console launch was the best of all time. But at this point, this is just definitely more of that. Absolutely loving my time with the Nintendo Switch 2. It's incredible. I just have nothing but awesome things to say about it. 10 out of 10 console launch with a great variety of games. I really think, though, that for a lot of folks, like for me specifically, you know, Guardians of Ozma is going to continue to take my time. Bravely Default is going to take a lot of my time. And then I'm going to jump into Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. But I think that if Nintendo wanted to nail the launch specifically for the whole console market for all gamers, I think that they should have had one more game, one more Nintendo game alongside of here. Because the thing that they did with the original Switch was launching with Breath of the Wild. That game was a game you could put 100 hours into, and it just sucked you back in all the time. Launching with Mario Kart World, although I think it's awesome, the thing with Mario Kart World is, like, it's one of those things to where you can play, like, I'm gonna play an hour, I'm gonna play, you know, another hour here or there, but it might be something that to where, like, oh, I'm gonna put my Switch 2 down, as opposed to launching with Breath of the Wild. It was a game that's like, oh, I need to keep coming back to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have them yet because GameStop, they are going to deliver my Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 version games late. Those did launch alongside of it, and if you never played them, then I think that those are definitely the it game. But if you played the games already, it's not going to be something that, like, oh my god, I got to keep playing. So regardless, 10 out of 10 console launch, putting a button on it, putting a bow on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you made this part of the video, you're an OG, double OG, triple OG. I appreciate you guys. But the console launch for the Nintendo Switch 2 is incredible. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys on more Switch 2 content right here on the channel. Peace.